Okay, so today we're about to cook my absolute favorite meal in the whole entire world, stuffed artichokes. It's a really simple recipe. I know a lot of people cook it in water and butter and garlic, but stuffed artichokes is where it's at. Now, this is my mother's recipe and she got it from somebody else, and been making it for years, so I hope you enjoy it. I'm doing the more simpler version. I don't have fresh parsley and fresh garlic in the house, and I'll talk about that more in the video. But okay, let's get right into it. Okay, so I just went in and prepped my artichokes. I thought I recorded, but I didn't. So what you do is you snip off the sharp tips of each artichoke, and then once you get to the top of the bulb, you just want to slice it off so it looks just like this. No tips. Like you see, this is a tip. This could be sharp on the top. So they're both prepped like that. You cut the stems off. You peel your stems, and then we're going to boil this for about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how fresh your artichokes are. These are super fresh, super green, so I'm thinking only 30 minutes will do. Okay, so we're just going to start these on you want to get them to like a roaring boil for about 30 minutes, steady boil rather. So I turned it on high, and then once it starts boiling, you can lower it, and you want to leave it at a low boil for, like I said, 30 to 45 minutes, and you want to cover this. Okay, so then while you have your artichokes boiling, you can prep the stuffing, and that's what we'll do now. So I'm doing gluten-free. That's just because that's what our household dietary restrictions are. But you can use just plain breadcrumbs, and then you want to season them. These gluten-free ones already come pre-seasoned, but I like to add a little bit more to them. So I use about 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs per artichoke. And if you have some bigger artichokes, which I do, I'm just going to add like just a little bit more. Now, I said I was doing the easy version. Normally you would add fresh parsley, or if it doesn't bother your stomach, you can add fresh garlic. So I'm going to also add a little bit of dried oregano, not too much, and a little bit of dried parsley flakes. Not too much, but just stronger. And a dash of garlic. And then I like to add 1/3 cup of parmesan cheese per 2 artichokes. So I'm only making 2, so I'm just going to use 1/3 of a cup. Mix that up. And then you want to add a bit of olive oil. And you want this to almost look not quite wet, but not quite, you don't want it to be dry either. You want it to be kind of crumbly when you, like it sticks together. And I'll show you a close up of that once I get it to the right consistency. Maybe a wee bit more. That looks about right. And a bit of cracked pepper. Okay, and I don't add salt just because there's enough salt in the cheese and the breadcrumbs. Okay, I'll show you close to this. See how it's kind of like wet now and PC-like? And you can just throw this in the refrigerator until your artichokes are done boiling. Okay, they're just coming to a boil now. And I'm going to set my timer. I'll do 35 minutes, and then I'll check on them. You have to just kind of take a leaf off and see if the meat on it is soft enough to eat. And if it's soft enough to eat, they're done. you want to take off the bottom leaf. And then you just want to see if you can get any meat off. And I can. So they're ready, but they need to cool down. So I'm gonna let them cool down on a tray. This is my own technique. My mother didn't do this. It helps get all the water out, and then we can stuff them. Okay, so the water's cooled down a little bit. I'm gonna drain some out. It's important to keep about like an inch and a half of water in that pot because we're going to cook them again after we stuff them. So let's drain the water and I'll show you my draining technique. Then I like to use like a drying rack for cookies or whatever. Because they're like, there's all these pockets in these and they fill up with water. So I like to be careful. Take them out. And put them on this rack upside down. Back over the pot. And let that water drain out as they cool. And leave them like that for like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes before you stuff them. Okay, so they seem to be cooled down quite a bit. Now I'm going to stuff them. So I'm going to remove that. Keep this pot close because the artichokes are going to go back in there after they're stuffed. This is my stuffing here. I kind of like to create a little nook. And they're cool enough to handle now. And you kind of want to assist them, kind of open up some of these leaves because that's where you're going to drop all the stuffing into. And that's what makes it really good. Like I really like to stuff them. And if you run out of the stuffing, it's so easy to make. You could just make some more if the second one doesn't have enough, which I might need to do because these artichokes are huge. So then you just go in and you just fill each leaf, just about each leaf. I kind of just sprinkle it and it kind of falls in. And it's gonna get really big after you stuff it. I mean, look how big that is now. From one bloom, it really grows when you stuff it. And then you just want to take it and just sit it in the water, just like this, petals up. Just set it in there, and I still have my stems in the water. You want to leave those. You want to leave those in there to cook. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the camera while I make that stuffing again, and then I'll turn it back on. Okay, more stuffing made. I have to create that little pocket in there to sit the artichoke within. Open up the petals. And then stuff it. I mean, look, it's huge. Okay, so you just want to take it and wedge them in there. And they kind of hold each other up. Just take any extra bits and kind of just sprinkle them on it about. Okay. And then lastly, you want to get a bit of Parmesan cheese and put it on the tops of each one. And I like to be generous. It almost is like a glue in a way, like it kind of helps hold it together. Okay, and then you just want to, the artichokes are still warm, so all you want to do is just pop this back on the stove for like 15 minutes until like you see that the cheese is melted down. So put a lid down on here, bring it to a slow simmer for like 15-20 minutes, and these guys are good to go, ready to eat. They're already cooked, it's just you kind of want that all to like marinate and melt together. It's so lovely. So I'll put this back on the stove now. Lid. Medium heat. Time to clean up, and I will make another video once they're done so you can see what they look like. Okay, so this is what they look like as they're cooking. They'll be ready in like 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to plate them now. It's a little bit tricky getting these out because they are so big. So you kind of have to, sometimes you need 2 people. We'll go for the little one first. Oh yeah, that's really soft. Gotta get crafty. Take these out. Okay, hopefully the second one's easier. But it kind of like unfurls itself, and then each person gets a stem or a heart, and they're really good. Okay, and this is what we have. Bon appetit. Okay, and that's dinner. Hope you enjoyed learning how to make stuffed artichokes.